Mr. Elliot Richards. A while ago, you released your video of the BYD's Denza Z9GT. In your video, you used words like
laziest, stupid, crap, disgusting, horrendous, completely pointless.
My name is John from Super Accelerator here in Beijing, China, and today I would like to do my own car review of the Denza's Z9 by replying to some of your comments.
Let's take this inside because there's so much that you said that I actually had to take notes. Now, the first one, getting the facts right.
204 horsepower, 4-cylinder motor. Again, combined with those 3 electric motors, it gives over 1,000 horsepower. 1,000 horsepower. Why? Why? Why?
The Z9GT does not have, as you claim, over 1,000 horsepower.
Unfortunately, today we have the hybrid version. I'd much rather be testing the EV version, but this was all that was available to us, so I guess we'll have to review it.
The car you so reluctantly tested was the PHEV Ultra version, which produces 870 horsepower. The all-electric version comes closer at 966 horsepower. As a professional car reviewer, or at least trying to look like one, you don't seem particularly interested in accuracy.
Is it a wagon? Is it a shooting brake? Whatever, who cares? It has a drag coefficient of, I don't really know what, does it really matter?
Now, I'm no expert on car journalism, but shouldn't getting the numbers right be like job one? You went on and argued that 1,000 horsepower is excessive for a sedan. And you're not entirely wrong. After all, there's an old Chinese saying, 广厦万间卧眠7尺, a mention of 10,000 rooms, yet one only sleeps in 7 feet of space. Who really needs a 1,000 horsepower car? Yet again, who really needs a 1,000 square meter mansion? No one. But we still dream of owning one. Because at the end of the day, humans does not just value utility. We value aspiration. If horsepower doesn't matter, then what has the finest engineers of Europe has been doing for the last century? Chasing unicorns? You also claim that such power would be dangerous.
1,000 horsepower is completely pointless and actually downright dangerous.
Have you truly tested it? Did you really floored it? Because if you had, you know it felt nothing like a typical 800 plus horsepower car. Denza knows the danger behind these big numbers, so they carefully calibrated the power delivery. When I drove the Z9 PHEV, mechanically identical to the GT, with minor design differences, it felt more like a refined 500 to 600 horsepower EV. The driving experience, thanks to its dual-chamber air suspension, is smooth, quiet, and civilized, with power on demand and precise and reassuring braking. This isn't recklessness. This is engineering finesse. Now let's talk about your disdain for gimmicks.
Tank turns, floating in water. Who cares? These features are not things that you and I will ever use, and this car definitely has some of those gimmicks.
But here's the thing. Every one of these gimmicks you mentioned were pioneered by BYD. Curious, isn't it? Not Geely, not GWM, not Chery, just BYD. It makes you wonder, is it really the technology, the features that you have a problem with? Or is it something else?
It's 5.2 meters long, over 2 meters wide. And it only has 5 seats. A Ford Transit has 12 seats and is only 30 centimeters longer.
Curious indeed. And because you deemed these features pointless, you refused to test them.
Tank turning, car parking thing. I'm not going to test that today. I don't think it's relevant or important at all.
If that's the case, where's your professionalism? As a reviewer, is it not your responsibility to set aside personal prejudices and bias and objectively test the functions that are presented to you. By allowing your narrow and subjective views to dictate your assessments, what message are you conveying to your audience? And more importantly, what credibility or value does your review hold when it's so clouded by prejudice? You say these features are pointless. Well, they might be true to you, but it doesn't mean that they're useless in real life. Let me share a personal example. A few days ago, I was driving my family to the hospital. The parking lot queue stretched for ages, and she was in severe pain, so I decided to try a different lot. But I was boxed in, car in front and behind. So I used the compass turn function, rotated on the spot, and escaped the queue. It wasn't just handy, it was life-saving. In tight parking spaces on city streets or in cramped neighborhoods, these features works wonders. Struggling with parallel parking? Solved. BYD's E3 technology lets you keep driving safely even after a high-speed blowout. Or take the simplest example. It gives a almost 5.2 meter long car a shockingly tight turning radius of 4.62 meters. It makes it so much easier to maneuver in tight spaces. How pointless is that? Then there's your critique of the interior, software, and UI design.
I've got the most disgusting looking bling-tastic drive selector here. I think that looks horrendous.
Look, aesthetics are personal and subjective, so I won't argue there. But just as you seem to find something to praise, the rear design.
Oh, now this is what you call a good-looking back end. There's so many lovely design touches and details in here that I really, really like.
You immediately claimed it copied the Alfa Romeo Brera.
It feels like an Alfa Romeo Brera, a really good-looking Italian car from the last few years, and I think copying that, really, really good. Well done, BYD. Well done, Denza.
Oh, and calling the De Vialle a random company?
De Vialle speakers? Another random company who's just stuck their badges on the speakers in a car.
Please say that to the music community. I'm so intrigued to find out what happens. And what about the dual fridges, with temperature ranging from -6 Celsius to 50 Celsius?
Plenty of pointless features. Number one, it's got a fridge. No, it's got two fridges. It's got a 4 litre here, and it's got a 10 litre in the back. Yes, this car has two fridges.
Allow me to ask you a personal question. Do you have a significant other? I do. I drink cold water year-round, but during her special time of the month, she can only drink warm water. One fridge keeps them cold, one fridge warms them up. Or maybe you're a tiring toddler's father. Those fridges can keep your child's breast milk at body temperature while still cooling your soda, perfectly catering to two people's needs. Still pointless? Finally, you said no one would want to repair this car once it starts having minor issues because it's too complicated with its motors, engine, battery, and fuel tank.
This thing is so overly complex, so overly difficult, that I can't see them lasting very long. As soon as things start going wrong on these, who's going to fix it? Who's going to want to dive into this and try and work out the complexities of this hybrid car?
Please tell me you're not serious. You're supposed to be a professional car reviewer. You've tested this car in Shanghai. You've seen how EVs has developed over the years in China. Yet somehow, a simple plug-in hybrid system is too complicated for you? Mr. Richards, I was reassured to see that most of your comment section didn't agree with your views. A car review should educate, entertain, and enlighten, not indulge in sweeping generalizations or personal grievances. The BYD's Denza Z9GT deserves a fair shake. And so does your viewers.